Hatchlings, it's DragonFeather, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's episode, I'd really like to talk to you guys about the mysteriously magical, legendary creatures that we call dragons. Yes, probably the most popular statement in response to me practicing the Draconic path would have to be that dragons aren't real and they don't exist. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that dragons are very real and do exist, and I know this to be fact for I have seen them myself and worked with them as spiritual entities. So, call me crazy, but if you are so interested and inclined to learn more, please stay tuned to learn a little bit about what dragons actually are. So, I got my notes so I don't miss anything and so I can share as much as possible with you guys in this video. So, when addressing the reality of dragons, we kind of have to take it back to the very beginning, and dragons are present in ancient human culture globally around the world. In the ancient world, there were many different cultures, and there's documentation in all of these different cultures that show dragons, that show the existence of dragons. Are these fantastical stories, or rather documentations in ancient records of the existence of dragons? So, as humankind grew and the human race expanded, I feel as though we pushed dragonkind almost to extinction. And for this reason, dragons have retreated themselves and removed themselves from the physical world, becoming beings, infinite beings, if you will, of light and higher vibrational frequency. Humans can only see in the Roy G. Biv spectrum of colors, and for this reason, we can't necessarily see anything else that's of higher or lower vibrational frequency. The reason why this is important is because most people, their argument is that dragons don't exist, and there's a saying that says, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. Well, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, my friends. So you have to keep an open mind, and in order to see these creatures and work with them, the only way it's going to work is if you initiate contact yourself as a friend, as a student, as a companion, and with an open mind and an open heart. Dragons are entities that have existed longer than humans, very much longer than humans. Therefore, knowledge speaking and evolutionary wise speaking, they're very superior to our race, even though they don't exist on the physical plane, if you will. Dragons won't manifest themselves to just anyone, so this is why people probably believe that dragons don't exist, is because dragons aren't going to manifest themselves to just any human. Our relationship has been very tarnished with dragons, and they are very cautious for working with us because of what we have done to them in the past by pushing them out of this physical world. One has to believe they exist in order to see dragons, and this is absolutely key. If you do not believe that they exist, you will never see them. Same goes with any other sort of mythical creature or creature of legend. You gotta believe in them in order to see them. So once you believe in them, you can open your eyes in a new way to be able to see them, if you will. So dragons, when you're able to see dragons or when you're open to them, you're going to want to initiate communication in order to really get to understand these creatures on a personal level. Dragons communicate in riddles and will rarely show their faces to humans. Sometimes you will see a dragon's face, but it might not appear as clearly as you would think. They may appear in front of you if they need to deliver a very vital, important message for you that you need to keep in mind. Excuse me. They might also manifest themselves, say, in a tree branch or in smoke, rather than an actual physical face in front of you. You usually have to use your third eye in order to see these beings. Often contact is made by a change in the space's atmosphere, usually emotionally, or the room will feel heavier or lighter depending on the mood of the dragon, and how they want to communicate with you. Or often by standing behind the student or the human communicating with the dragon. So this is why it's very rewarding to follow a draconic path, if you will, or work with these creatures, because yes, they are fantastical beings that are very rare these days, and most people don't even pay attention, to be completely honest, and they're not awake or aware enough to initiate contact, and that's why it's such a very niche little path that not a lot of people practice. It's just not a common path to walk upon. It has been often believed that names hold power, so dragons might usually never share their true name with you, and this is usually because their names are really long and difficult for us to even pronounce. So dragons oftentimes will prefer you to give them a name, and I kind of feel like this is why they're so powerful, because if names hold power and they ask you to give them a name, then the more names that they are given, the more powerful these beings are. That's kind of just a personal belief of mine, though. Dragons are masters in the art of magic, and this is why working with them magically can be so beneficial. Dragon magic conquers all. It's a very, very strong, if not the strongest form of magic practiced. It's complicated and it's not easy. It requires lots of self-discipline, self-divination, and self-trust, and trust with the guardian, if you will. You have to really establish like a lifelong relationship with these creatures. It's not just some rat you have or bunny you have. It's a real, intelligent, speaking, conscious being. Magical creatures. For this reason alone, dragons are cautious when working with humans on a magical platform, because if dragon magic falls into the wrong hands, that could be dangerous. However, not all dragons are good dragons. Each dragon is an individual just like we are, and uniquely express themselves as so. They come in all different shapes and personalities, just as we do. So, dragonkind are infinite beings, and their species is endlessly diverse. Our imagines can't even begin to comprehend the infinite possibilities of dragonkind, and that's why maybe it's a little hard to accept them as reality or real creatures, because they are so great. They're so much greater and so much more than we could even possibly begin to grasp the concept of, if you will. Humans haven't even scratched the surface of all the mysteries and marvels of dragons, and maybe that's why they're creatures of legend. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and let me know. And I'd absolutely love to know what you guys think about dragons, and if you think they are real or fake after watching this video. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Blessed be, and bye.